Menus have come a long way since the earliest days of gaming. Over the years, they have evolved to become simpler, nicer on the eyes, and easier to navigate. Arguably, menus are not all that important when it comes to the overall enjoyment of the game, but a good menu can be appreciated, and generally speaking, the overall quality of menus have increased with time, with the exception of modern-day Japanese menus which look a bit like this. Now, before I go on with this rant, I would like to add a quick disclaimer that not every Japanese developed video game has badly designed menu systems. I just seem to have noticed a trend with the menus in modern day games. Let me explain. So I've been playing a bunch of Street Fighter 6 lately since its release, and it's a fantastic game through and through. Now, since it's a fighting game, a lot of my time is spent in the training room so I can practice combos and whatnot. Now, thankfully, Capcom has really blessed us fighting game fans with one of the most intricate and complex training rooms I've ever seen. You can literally practice any possible situation that might happen in an online match, and that's great. My problem stems from just how confusing it is to navigate. I mean, just look at how many submenus within submenus there are. Take this for example. In order to record an action for the CPU to copy, you have to press the right bumper till you get to the recording settings submenu. Figure out why on earth there are 8 slots here. Start recording. Oh, and by the way, it doesn't tell you what to do to stop recording, so I'll just assume I pressed the menu button again. Ah, seems I was correct. Now I need to figure out how to play the recording. Select it. Ah, no, that just resets the recording, so now I have to do it all over again. Ah, there is a whole other submenu that can be accessed by pressing right on the D-pad. Didn't see that there. Okay, now why isn't it repeating? Oh, of course, I need to toggle the repeat replay option. Gotcha. I shit you not, this took me over 10 minutes to work out for the first time. I'm no menu or UI designer, but would it have not made a bit more sense to just allow you to play the recording immediately after recording the damn thing? Or at the very least, have both these submenus displayed on the same fucking page so you're not having to flick between them constantly. Also, I cannot be the only person that thinks the Street Fighter 6 training room menu has way too many words and not enough symbols. Maybe my low attention span, TikTok-powered brain can no longer be bothered to read words anymore, but trying to find the specific submenu you need would be a lot faster if these menu titles were a little bit more distinct from one another. And here's another thing. The other day I had just finished a 2-hour ranked grind and wanted to take a look at my match history for the day, and this is pretty much how it went starting from the training mode. Okay, so I assume you have to back out of this menu. Where would that be? Return to mode select, yeah. Okay, so I assume it's not down here, maybe on the top right. Actually no, this is how you get into a game. Fighter profile? No, not that either. Maybe I back out into the main menu. Top right perhaps? Friends, followed players, search, request, spotlight blocked. No, not this either. Maybe if I go into the options. Profile. Okay, stats, history. There we go. Getting closer here. I want my ranked match history though, so how do I do that? You can press RT. Ranked match. There we go. Why can't I see whether I've won or lost? No. No. Hide show results. RS. There we go. Why would you not want to know whether you've won or lost? That doesn't really make any sense to me why that's an option. And why was it set to not showing on default? That's a bit weird to me. But I saw online that you could see your win rate versus certain characters, so I'll see if I can find that here. It's not here, is it? No.
2 hours later.
There we go. One absolute shit show. I just feel like seeing something as simple as your match history should be an easy and streamlined process, not something that takes the average player a long time to figure out. But then again, maybe I'm not the average player, maybe I'm just the retard here. Maybe you guys found the match history tab first try with no complications, and in which case, shoutouts to you because that shit took me a long ass time to find. Now onto my next example of a shit menu design. A couple months ago, a friend of mine came over with a copy of Gran Turismo 7, since I told him I wanted to try it on the PS5. I'm not much of a racing guy myself, but having seen just how clean the graphics looked online, I wanted to at least give it a shot. Now the game was actually pretty impressive visually, and for a while I was enjoying my time with the game, until I had to navigate their menu system. I remember hysterically laughing with my friend at how difficult it was just to change the decal of my car. So much so that I actually asked my friend to record the process so I could show you guys just how stupid this shit is. So picture a scenario where you've just finished a race and you're not really a big fan of the color of your Prius. So you want to go and change it really quickly and get back into another race. Should be simple enough. So first of all, you need to back out all the way to the main menu. Head over to GT Auto, not to be confused with the tuning shop. Press on car customization, paint color. We'll just head over to the real car paint here. As you can see, there's lots of options to choose from, but hang on. Where's my fucking car? Why can't I see the paint job preview on my own fucking car? Whatever, I guess. This looks alright, I'll buy this. Now, you would hope that there would be an option to automatically apply this paint job to my Prius, but you may have forgot, this is Gran Turismo 7 we're playing here. So instead, in order to apply the paint job we just purchased, you're going to want to back out twice and head to Livery Editor and create a new design. Select Paint, Body, Paint Tool, select the paint job. This wasn't what I expected. Oh, and don't forget to save it and give it a name. Now you can finally apply it to your Prius. But you're still not done. You now need to save the style again and give it a name again. And after another minute of navigating the menus, now you may get back into another race. I would not be surprised if the developers spent more time and effort on the menus in this game than they did on the actual races themselves. And look, I know they did this on purpose so players can feel that they have the most freedom when customizing their cars, but for the average casual racing game enjoyer, this is just too much. If I gave this game to my dad and left him alone with it, I can guarantee you he would not be able to figure out how to actually start a race. And after doing some research, I found out that it actually takes 13 button presses to exit the end of a race screen and get back to the main menu alone. Now to me, this wouldn't be much of an issue had Gran Turismo 7 been a hyper-realistic racing simulator game on PC, similar to that of Flight Simulator to satisfy the die-hard racing game fans. But remember, this is the racing game to play on PS5 and exclusive only to PS5. GT7 will most likely be the first game parents will look to buy for their son on Christmas, and I feel nothing but sympathy for little Timmy when he can't figure out how to put a spoiler on the back of his new car because the menu design is so overwhelming. Now onto a personal favourite of mine, the PS5 homepage. Unfortunately, I was one of the first people to get my hands on these consoles back when Sony had produced about 3 of these suckers on release, and putting aside the obvious negative being the lack of games, I was met with this lackluster homepage. I don't know how Sony have managed to downgrade each homepage menu since the PS3, but they seem to get real horny over the less is more design. They somehow made the PS5 homepage so simplistic it's actually more difficult to navigate and get to the page you're looking for. Why have they separated games and media as if anyone ever got confused with them being together in the first place? Whatever happened to homepage themes? Where is the browser option? Where on earth did the Friends tab go? Well, actually, I can answer that. If you press the home button on your controller, it brings up an entirely new menu and you can find your Friends tab under the Game Base tab. As if it wasn't confusing enough to find it, they also just labeled it something completely different. The whole homepage feels like something you would see in a beta as a sort of first preview rather than the finished product. I mean, just look at these two submenus. Does it not look like there should be at least 3 or 4 other submenus to accompany it? Anyway, I could go on forever and there are numerous other examples I would cover, but to keep the video fairly concise, I'll end it here. Ultimately, bad menus are not a huge deal breaker for me, and I feel like it would be silly if it was, but as someone who spends every day playing games, I cannot help but feel a little annoyed by this. Let me know if there are any particular games that you think have awful menus down in the comments. But yeah, that's all from me. Peace.